I'm live. Hey, it's been a while since I've gone live, or really did anything on social media. But specifically my morning tea. Haven't done that in, I don't know, over a month. So I had been wanting to do it. I'd wanted to do this. And, it not even being morning. So that is why this one is entitled Sunday Tea with Me. By the way, for those of you who don't know, my name is Sensei Mish, or just simply Mish. It is currently 12:51 Pacific Standard Time, almost 1300, almost 1 p.m. Don't know. I was thinking about, oh, hey, I'm going to go live for those of you who, are interested. But yeah, so Friday mornings, I'd been doing it Friday mornings for a while. And of course that can't do that because I have a 40-hour gig on top of the school, side hustle on top of the school. And then I was doing it Saturday mornings, but there's been so much going on that, frankly, my ass has just been tired. So, because if I get up and I do, say, a 7 a.m. stream, which is, 10 a.m. Eastern time, then, and then I got to go teach Saturday, basically the last few Saturdays, I have been absolutely exhausted. So then there's Sunday. Well, generally Sunday is like a veg day for me. I don't do anything on Sundays, but just sit and watch TV and hang out with my family and do stuff. But I was like, I really enjoy getting on here and talking to nobody, really. And so I have no idea who's going to come on today. I know Jim Korn, he usually chimes in. He's actually in Arizona with Clay at Jason Graham's teaching. So he's doing a seminar down there. So I think that's fun. I'm actually trying to get Jim to come out here. Not that he has not said no. It is all finances. So not sure exactly what that's going to look like. But I just want to cover stuff. Like, actually, it's kind of funny because I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone. Haven't seen him in a while. And he was like, oh, I caught your stream the other day. And I was like, dude, I haven't been online for like weeks. I haven't done a stream for weeks. And he's like, oh, he's like, I didn't realize that. And of course, which shows, when and how often I pop up in certain people's stuff. So, but anyway, I've got my tea. It's right here. A different background. This is my my office downstairs. My daughter, who turned 18 on Thursday, so I'm officially old. I don't feel old, just that, I'm too young to have a daughter that's 18. So, which is kind of funny because that's what my grandfather always told me. He was too young to have a grandson my age. And I was, of course, the eldest. And he was no spring chicken himself, but it is what it is. Ooh, that's nice and hot. Tastes good. I like the flavor. Anyway, so and actually, we're just going to put that right here. So there's lots of things to talk about. We could talk about a whole bunch of different things. What's been going on in my life? Well, I've gained some students. I've lost some students. The school is maintaining itself. Actually, December, to be honest, December's been kind of hard because I've had some students say, hey, to afford Christmas, we're going to temporarily cancel our membership and we'll be back in January. And like, I totally understand. So that has kind of been hard, but trying to look at the positive. Um, we did a Christmas event for Emerald Elementary. It's like a winter event for their kindergarten and first grade, and so they asked us if we would show up and do cotton candy, and we did, and it was great. It was like an hour and a half long. I took a couple pictures, but not a lot of pictures like I wanted, because it wasn't just me and Lisa. We actually had Alexa there to help. So I was like, ooh, maybe I could step away. But yeah, no, it was not, we were kind of busy. The longest line there was popcorn, and they had like a sing thing, and then they had other little events. So it was fun, but absolutely crazy at the same time. So we're still staying part of the community, best we can. And, but we have a lot of really cool things planned for 2024. In fact, some of the things that, like, as a new school, I'm running into is that I have a lot of students that are just one dayers. They come they pay one fee, or they pay for the 1 day a week fee. And so they come, of course, 1 day a week, but they're all the ones, a lot of them are coming to the point where they're finishing the foundation curriculum, which then once you finish the foundation curriculum, you go into the year one curriculum. And the way the curriculum works is that you show up and you do, just the way our curriculum works is it's really set up to do two. You learn application, you learn a skill on Monday, and you learn application on Wednesdays. Well, a lot of the people come on Wednesdays or Saturdays. And so I was talking to a couple different parents, and I was like, okay, so I want to add to the Saturday. This is basically it's coming to my realization that I need to add a Saturday class, or an additional Saturday class, because when I have a bunch of different people, it's a little bit easier having a foundation class, because it's like, okay, well, what stripe are people missing? We'll work on that stripe. Kind of easy to work on. But then you have those people that are like, if they're working on a new belt, then you've got these other, you've got these people that are just sitting there just for a little bit. So you're like, you've got the foundation and year one going at the same time. So you're like, how am I going to do that on a Saturday? So I'm going to be adding a class, and I'm talking to parents, and everybody's up for it. Yes, we can come earlier or we can come later. But then you have the people that come Wednesdays, and Wednesday would be the natural progression into, the year one. Now I did have one student, she was a 1 day a weeker, and I was like, look, she's really going to benefit by coming more times a week, because anybody benefits coming more. And I, explained it's going to be $50 more. She gets 4 more classes, 2 classes a week. What do you think about it? Is that something that you can do? And they were like, all game. So, and I actually said, before you make the decision, just start bringing her 2 days a week. Like, it was like, I don't care about getting the extra money right now. I want to prove to you that, get that person out there. So anyway, so so she came, they saw an improvement in her learning skill and all that kind of stuff. And now she's a 2-dayer. The other thing was, so I might have some conversions there, but what day a week would people want if they're just coming 1 day a week, because I couldn't, if you're coming Wednesday, you're getting basically, I would rather have them come Monday and work on kata than doing application. And I might just have to switch that. And that's, now that I think about it, I could switch that where if they're coming on Wednesdays, they're learning kata, and Monday, you know, when you come in Monday, you learn application. So basically reversing what we do. And that would be an easy fix. But just to allow those people to still come on Wednesdays. But here's the thing, is it fair for a student who's coming 2 days a week? Because I know that, like, I could say that you know, to get a colored belt, they don't need application, that, you know, do the kata and all that kind of stuff, but that but to get a black belt, they're going to have to do the application, you know the applications, which is true. So I have decided I'm just going to add a Thursday class, because I don't really have time on Wednesdays that I can add a Wednesday class that they can come to. So it would be a and maybe I could earlier. It would be an earlier Wednesday class, but I don't know. But right now I'm thinking Thursdays 5:15, 5 or 5:15, they show up, and then that would actually get more people in the door. I'd have more people in the school on a Thursday earlier. So you can, you know, just trying to get more people. Anyway, so that's kind of one of the brain thingies that I'm going through going into the next year. And I've already kind of planted the seed for a lot of the parents that this change is going to be happening, but it's not going to affect our main schedule. So it is what it is. The other thing is that we have, I have people coming in. Oh, Ashton, how are you, sir? In fact, I think it's great that Believe Martial Arts held like a gala the other day. And Believe Martial Arts is a school in Chipley, Florida. And they, an amazing group of people, but they held a gala and did, like, you know, gave out MVP awards. And I just thought it was really, really awesome. So anyway, shout out to them. And I'm not getting any comments, so I don't see anybody. So, like, I know we had issues earlier. Maybe I should go on here and see if there's actually anybody putting a comment. I did see a like. I don't know why. We're just going to close that out. Let's go on here, see if there's any comments. What was I going to say? I'm going to say something. But anyway, I've planted the seed that changes are coming, but it's not going to affect our main core. And, you know, when you come online, you know, say hi. And maybe Sunday isn't the day for people. I don't know. Or maybe earlier or not at all. I don't know. But this is something I like to do, connect with friends online. In fact, today, one of the things I'm doing in my personal life is I have a group of friends, a group of guys that I worked with for a long time at the hospital, and we don't see each other as much as we really should. And so we had, so I decided, you know, it was like, well, let's get to, you know, we always talk about, let's get together for drinks, and no comments, no actual comments. So anyway, what is it? So anyway, so after, you know, we always talk about, let's get together for dinner, let's get together for drinks, and it never happens. So I was like, look, let's make this a monthly thing. We'll just choose, we'll figure out our schedules, figure out who's available when, and then on, say, a Saturday or a Sunday, we'll get together and whoever can make it makes it. And so one of the guys he watches his grandkid on Saturdays. So that's why we're getting together on Sunday, so we can make sure that he comes. I have told him that when I watch my grandson, he went everywhere with me. And it's not that, just throw him in a car seat, take him to dinner. He could be one of the guys. I don't care. It is what it is. There's a text. Let's see. Okay, so I will respond to that. Anyway, I'll respond to that later. I don't know if he's watching or not, but anyway, we have more people watching. Please comment, say hi, tell me who you are. We'll start a conversation. And now when it comes to martial arts, let's start on martial arts first. My book, so a book of mine, next book my next book is going to be basically a guide, a self-defense guide, or a self-defense law guide for martial artists. And the reason I'm putting this together is because I think as a martial artist, if you are teaching a self-defense art, you should be a use of force subject matter expert. And so that's kind of what this book is. It's kind of a guide to help you become a use of force expert. Because if you are, and like for me, are you teaching the style because of tradition? And traditionally, you behead the person, or are you doing this for practical self-defense that's going to happen today? Because if you're going to do it, if it's going to happen today, then you, as a responsible martial arts instructor, you should be teaching your students how to defend themselves physically and defend themselves when it comes to the law. And I think a lot of us aren't. I'm just gonna be frank. A lot of us aren't. I know a lot of I know a lot of martial artists personally that I've seen their stuff that they teach their students, and frankly, they're teaching their students to go to jail. And that's just not that's just really irresponsible. So anyway, it's not going to be a big book. It's just going to be a quick guide, just to say, and honestly, I've already kind of written, as part of writing it, I'm always thinking of how I'm going to write the introduction, and pretty much the introduction goes, this book is going to piss you off. It's going to challenge you. And that's really that's what we should be doing. If we are teaching self-defense, we're teaching martial arts to teach our students self-defense. We need to be responsible. And this book will end up being that'll help. So when it's going to come out, I have no idea. I am outlining it and writing it as I can. Usually, and sometimes it'll just be like that click and stuff just flows. Right now, the ideas are coming in and I'm taking notes and I'm writing this and that, because I'm also going to bring in different case law and say, because there's a couple different cases that usually they're put side by side for race baiting. But really, when you look at the law, one person followed the law and one person didn't. And the person who didn't really broke the law, like way broke the law. And there's a lot that's not talked about. So I want to basically take a couple different cases and say, hey, here's a self-defense situation. This is why this person went to jail. Or here's a self-defense situation. This is why this person didn't go to jail. So, because the greatest words you want to hear from a police officer in a self-defense situation is, that's justified. And trust me, I've heard those words. And yeah, so yeah. Anyway, very like it's like this, you like all the adrenaline just kind of runs out of your body and you're like, phew, like I survived the situation. And now you have a law enforcement officer saying, using the term justified. And now that doesn't stop the district attorney from doing anything, but at least if it starts at the police end and they're using the word justified towards you, you end up a little bit easier. So anyway, so that is a project I'm currently working on. I'm also working on a couple different modular things. I cannot talk about a couple of them right now because it's going to be more announced at Bram's birthday, which with Bram's birthday, on January 1st, you will be able to register for Bram's camp in July. There's no special big 5-day event. It's just going to be a standard 3-day, but of course, with prices rising, we had to raise prices too. And, so there's going to be different payment options. So if you really want to go, you can just be like, hey, I really want to go, but I can't afford it. Like, one big chunk right now. So I'll make 3 payments or 4 payments. So that is, that will be available the beginning of the first week. I just want to say January 1st, but let's just say the first week of January, that will be a thing. And then you can, and then from there, you'll be able to, you'll be registered and all that kind of stuff. So I'm working on all the website stuff now. So you got that. One thing that I'm doing, I'm working with, I mentioned Jim Korn earlier. So he's been sending me DVDs. So I have 3 of his DVDs. I have Awesome Arm Attacks. Okay. Blazing Basics, and what is it? Double Tap Volume 2. He's trying to see if he has any copies of Volume 1. He has a copy he is sending me, so I can at least, so if we want to basically, print it and then have it, for a full collection, we can do that. But anyway, these are going to be available. And I think I talked about this the last time I went live, but I'm going to make these available on my Artisan website. So if you want these, you can purchase them and have a disc, Jim stuff on disc. I've also been toying with the idea of allowing a digital download. So, and so I'm going to see what kind of, if I can, how I don't have any of the raw video. So if I can remaster some of these and make it a little bit crisper, that would be freaking awesome. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do with it. But at least having a hard copy, you'll own that hard copy. So, and it's also a way to support Jim because any money that's made off of this is going to go to Jim. So, and then also kind of as a side thing, I'm working on an audiobook of Jim's book, but that's all going to be based off of his raw audio recordings. So it's not going to be like a formal somebody else reading. It's going to be him telling the stories. So, so that'll be kind of cool. Let's see. But when that will come out, I don't know. I'm putting it out there in the ether because it's going to be a thing. I have not talked to him about it, but I'm sure he will approve. The other modular thing that I'm working on is an advanced instructor guide. And this is going to be what Dan Anderson would call a visual reader. It is basically, it's going to be for instructors. So I don't plan to make a lot of money from this, but if you are teaching modular, if you are a certified instructor, then you'll be allowed to buy this book. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And if you are not a certified instructor and you want to buy the book, then it's going to cost a lot of money. So that's kind of where we're going with that. But we're going to basically, I'm going to detail all the modules and all the stuff that I've come up with, all the stuff that, extra stuff that Bram is doing, but it's going to be like, if you're an instructor, how, like what tools have I used or other people used to teach this? So teaching 1-4-12, it can be challenging. And sometimes it can be really, really easy. So, so I'm going to basically put this guide together. I take notes after every single modular class that I teach because something new comes up. And to give you an example, this is the most recent. So Bram teaches even off of the one, just off of the one, whether you're going high or low, you step back and you body shift. It doesn't need to be a big step. You just step back and you body shift. That and that can be hard for people. I'll admit it was hard for me. Got to step back and body shift. So I have this one student, older student, never really ever done anything physical, like, not really a sports person, nothing like that, but wanted to start the martial arts, and he is hooked. Like, I've been seeing him pretty much 4 days a week, modular and Kempo, for months, and no burnout because So anyway, but he just loving it, just eating it up. And I see people coming on, say hi. Okay. Say hi. I don't care where you're at. Say hi. Or who you are. Anyway, so he's loving it. And let's see who, Jason. And then what is it? So I've been, he can body shift, but sometimes he forgets just because he's focusing on arm movement or focusing on this or focusing on that. It's that, the one foot will shift, but the other won't. And so the other day in class, it was just the two of us. It was just a private lesson. We were doing, he had asked the perfect question, the perfect way. And for me as an instructor, it all came together. Like it's like now I can put everything together. Jason, sir, how are you? I'm actually going to get to our event here soon. So we, so anyway, so in that discussion that we had, in that training, pretty much I came up with some stepping principles. And a principle is basically, a skill or whatever that you can attribute to multiple techniques or movement or whatever. And so this stepping and body shifting, we basically tested it out with the 4 modules. And it worked every time. So you have a rule for stepping forward. You have a rule for stepping back. You have it's like to me, I wowed myself. Like I was like, whoa, this is, and it could just be something, it could just be stupid to people. But for me, it was like, wow, this is going to revolutionize the way that we teach stepping and body shifting and modular. And I haven't had a chance to talk to Bram because I did talk to Bram for just like a little bit, but he's teaching today. He's also teaching a seminar. And I completely forgot because I was going to talk to him about another modular thing that I can't talk about right now. But anyway, but I was also going to share him with that because like, boom, like it was like, even I was, because it's like when you do something and you're trying to teach what you do, but it's like the words aren't right. And you just like, but when you start to create principles and rules around that, it was perfect. So yeah, it was a great session, and yeah, fun, absolutely fun. So with Jason coming on here, or Jason at least saying hi, I don't know who's watching. I know a couple people are in and out. March 24th. So it's going to be the weekend, March 23rd, March 24th. Let me look at my calendar really quick. Yes. So the Saturday, the 23rd and Sunday, the 24th, which Sunday just happens to be Palm Sunday. So, for those people who like to go to church, the seminar will be held a little bit later in the day. I couldn't tell you how long the seminar is, but anyway, on Saturday, Francis Serrano and Jason and Josh Cook are going to be teaching a Hubud seminar in Olympia, Washington, at Josh and Pollyanna's school. And then the following day, Sunday, Jason and Francis and I will be teaching a Hubud seminar at Artisan Martial Arts. So, Jason, if you're listening, I'll post in the group chat more deets on time, etc. Right now, the price is $70. But I really don't know any more than that besides cost and date. So when we get more information, I will share it, and then we can go from there. And then let's see. And then Bram's thing, of course, in July, I'm going to be doing a lightsaber camp or lightsaber seminar May 4th. It's a Saturday, so got to have that on May 4th. And then let's see. Jason says we're going to sync it all as it gets closer. Well, we are 3 months away. We should have those dialed in. So I think we should have all that stuff dialed in the next week or two. So, again, I keep on forgetting. I'm gonna post that in the chat because I've been meaning to actually chime in. So, let's see. What was I going to say? Oh, anyway, so May 4th, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the trunk or treat again in October. My birthday, which is the 2nd of June, the first weekend of June, which is actually June 1st is the Saturday, June 2nd is the Sunday. I would like to have Jim Korn out. So, and it wouldn't be a long seminar. Don't know exact cost, but it'll probably be maybe a 2 to 3 hour seminar. Maybe a little bit longer if I have other people teach, but it would be, if we have anybody else teach, it might be Harvey Hondit, me, if whoever travels with Jim. So like, right, like Clay. If Clay ends up traveling with Jim out here, that would be fantastic. Clay could teach. If basically, if I have any other, any other people, then it could grow. It could grow. But right now, I'm thinking just Jim, and because it's not going to be an all day thing. It's just going to be, but it could be anyway. That and I need to make a decision on that and how that's going to happen sooner than later, so I can make sure that people know about it and all that kind of stuff. But it is all about money. So really, if I had the funds to buy him a plane ticket right now, it would be said and done. He'd be coming out. So the plane ticket is the big thing. In September, I'll be out back in Indiana. April, Jim, Clay is basically hosting Friends in the Art Seminar in Georgia. I wish I could go, but I can't, unfortunately. But money and time, basically. I can only take off so many weekends. So unless, of course, I can actually have somebody be able to teach my classes while I'm gone, but yeah, so that's kind of everything that's going on there. Let's see what else. Yeah, so martial arts wise, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things I'm super excited about. And all of that. Oh yeah, and martial arts. Have you got? Okay, so there's a new movie on. I think it's Netflix or it is Apple Plus. I can't remember. But it's called Family Plan. It's got Mark Wahlberg in it. Well, there's a scene that he turns to his daughter and he's like, "Have you ever heard of Kyushu Jitsu?" And I'm sitting there like, what? Did he just say what I think I heard him say? And she's like, what? She says it's a 13th century martial art that focuses on pressure points. And I'm just like, no way. Like totally blown away with, oh my gosh. So yeah. Like I was like, that is so cool. And then of course, what Chris Thomas, he posts something. He's like, thank you, Mark Wahlberg, because he posted a screenshot of, have you ever heard of Kyushu Jitsu? And I'm like, holy cow. And it's spelled right too. It's spelled right on the captions. So anyway, I just thought that was way cool that was first time it's really ever been included in a movie. Like, I mean, it's not in the theaters movie, but it's a movie. So I don't know. I just thought that was way cool. So if you haven't seen the movie, it's actually a pretty fun movie. In my head, it is a pseudo sequel to The Big Hit, also a Mark Wahlberg movie, but there is no connection. It's just a mish in the head thing. So, all right. So I guess also in the news, Paramount is having financial issues. So there's a big buzz of what's going to happen to Star Trek. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I've done some research, but I don't know. All I hope is that if, I do know that Simon & Schuster, which is the publishing, one of the paper publishing things, they're actually the official publisher of Star Trek novels and other Star Trek books. Paramount is selling them off. And I think that it's like $1.2 billion or something like that. That's going to happen in early 2004. but if they decide to sell off Star Trek, because CBS and Paramount, they're back together now. Star Trek is back together. And if you didn't know, when Paramount and CBS, when they were split, Paramount owned Star Trek, or Star Trek movies. CBS owned Star Trek TV. And that's why everything is 25% different. So what we can only hope as Star Trek fans that if Star Trek as an asset needs to be sold off, that they sell off it as a whole. So we don't have any bullshit movies or TV shows that have to be 25% different. And that truly is why they did the whole, opposite universe thing with Star Trek 2009 and the Kelvinverse. That's why the Kelvinverse exists, is because of the 25% difference. So, yeah. Now, on a completely other note, this book. Now, this is book 7. This just came out last month. It is the Murderbot Diaries. I don't know if anybody's heard of those before. So the first book, All Systems Red, or I can't remember the name of the first book. Let me go to my phone. Because I'm looking up, All Systems Red. So All Systems Red was basically was the first, it's called the Murderbot Diaries. And it's basically about this, this not necessarily a cyborg, but it's a sec unit, a security bot that has both computer and flesh. But we don't, the book doesn't really go into a lot of detail of how much of him is artificial and how much of him is basically organs and all kind of stuff. But he is kind of like a cyborg. And he's hacked his governor module, so he's rogue. He can do whatever he wants. It's a fantastic series. So I was told about it a few months ago by one of my friends. He's like, dude, if basically he's a robot that is really uncomfortable with human emotion, doesn't really he does security, he'll do his security job, but he doesn't really want to. He doesn't want to deal with it. And he's super cynical and would just rather just be left alone so he can watch his futuristic soap operas. That's basically this character. And he has kind of dubbed himself a murder bot, because he does. He's programmed to save his clients. And if it means killing other things or people, he will do that to keep his clients safe. The first book was, what is it? It's a Hugo. It was a Hugo and Nebula Award winner. And so I think it came out in 2017. This is the latest book. It's been optioned by Apple Plus. So now, or Apple TV. So now Apple TV is going to be making a series, and it's the Skarsgård. I can't remember it's not the adult, it's the kid. It's the kid of anyway. So he's going to be playing the sec unit, and it's being produced by the same people that did Foundation for Apple TV. So I'm so excited, but at the same time I have mixed feelings, because the only physical copy of any of the books I have is that book. It just came out brand new. I've been listening to the audiobooks because I am more of an audiobook person, just time and all that kind of stuff. That's how I am able to consume that content. The guy who reads for, and it's a diary. It's like a first person story. Murderbot is telling the stories. It's the guy who does the voice. His name's Kevin R. Free, and like it's so perfect. Like his voice, he just even Jason's like my sister loves those. Yeah. Just the way he portrays this character is absolutely phenomenal. Like I'm excited that, like, because I was telling somebody, I was like, dude, it would be so cool if like Netflix or Apple or somebody, got the options so they could make a movie or a TV series. But at the same time, it's like, how do they stay true to the book? Like, so anyway, so I am super excited that it's going to be on it's going to be a show. But at the same time, I'm what is it? I'm apprehensive. So, but it is, it is what it is. It's only so much that we can do. Let's see. I think I mentioned earlier that I am officially old because my youngest is 18, but I cannot, I can't just say that my next child, he just turned 23 yesterday. So I have two of my kids are 5 years and 2 days apart. So, yeah. Or if you really put it down, it's more like 4 years and 363 days apart. That's 4 years, 363 days. So yeah. But yeah, so it's let's just say December is a really expensive month for me. Always has been. You got Christmas, and you got two kids celebrating birthdays. Because one of the rules with a December birthday is you do not combine Christmas and December and Christmas and birthday presents together. It's insulting. Two separate events. So it is what it is. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Yeah, as things come up, I will post more. I just have not been, I'm like, when it comes to social media, I haven't really been like on social media. Like I think the most social media I've been on is TikTok, and it's not really going down the trail. It's just, it's break time. I just need to, do stuff, soften my brain. Usually I'm getting out my laptop and working on something for the school. So, but I'm going to try and be a little bit better and a little bit more consistent, because even with Cusho Corner, I have not been as consistent as I should have. So, like last year, I think in September, I had episodes all the way through. I don't know when. And to be honest, I haven't shot anything. And that's a lie. I have 2 episodes, guest instructors that they'll be part of the series, but really I haven't shot anything outside of that for Cusho Corner at all. No content that's just for the web, no content that's just for the book, for my Cusho guide, no content that's for public consumption, for the regular show, nothing. And I think it's not for a lack of time. It's just, I haven't been motivated, and it's frustrating that way. So I'm trying to remotivate myself. And I think it's also here, I really enjoy doing these, even when nobody shows up. Like I got and even when nobody comments, I mean, I got Jason commenting, thank you, sir. And, you know, I see the little eyeball with 1, 2, or 3. Nobody ever says hi. Say hi. I should just what I need to do is I need to put the little scroll on there. Say hi. Say hi. Tell me when you're on board. But yeah, I love just talking into the ether, especially when people talk back, because then we can have a conversation. And yeah, see, Jason watches them most of the time late. Yeah, and that's fine, you know. And so I like, there is no, like, for me, there is no perfect time. But I need to do it consistently. So like, everybody's like, oh, like before it was like, oh, it's Friday morning at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. Pacific or Eastern. So it's like, oh, Mish is going to be on. And then Mish wasn't on. And then we went to Saturdays, and then Mish wasn't on at all. Here we are on a Sunday. So, and could it be earlier on a Sunday? Maybe. Honestly, I did want to do it earlier. I was thinking about 10 a.m. And then I was thinking maybe it should be at noon. And so I came downstairs because upstairs, you know, family and my daughter, her little kid party is happening today. So, little kid, I mean, she's 18. She's having friends over basically for her birthday. So it's the kid party. And actually, let's just say, I know this squirreled at my age, if you are probably, I don't know, at my age, if you are 35 years old or younger, you're a kid. Just saying. Yeah. Pretty much if yeah, you're a kid. That's just bad. So anyway, anyway, so I usually do it upstairs on the couch, and I was like, yeah, I'll just come down. Well, my office I've tried cleaning it. It's a mess. I've had different projects going on. And so I went back upstairs. I was like, hey, so how much noise are you going to be making? And Alexa's like, just turn your camera around. Like, your desk is mostly clean. Just clean it up more. And so that's what I did. So my desk. But yeah. So, and this is actually not too bad. I can sit here, talk, all that kind of stuff. You can hear clanking going on in the background, but it is what it is. Anyway, so and I haven't drunk a lot of tea, because usually the rule is by the time the tea is gone, that's when the stream ends. But I do have other things I need to do today. And honestly, this was good. This was good, actually getting out there, just blabbing, because there's some times where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. No idea. Yeah. Oh, see, and then something pops into my head. So, thought on this. Star Trek: The Next Generation. I randomly just was putting it on, you know. A book another project I'm kind of doing on the side. Basically, I'm going to update my Vulcan neck pinch. Oh, which was also related to Kyushu Jitsu in the family plan. That was awesome. So watch the movie if you haven't watched it. Anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, so been watching Star Trek mainly to, you know, get the key points when Vulcan neck pinch has been done, so I can update this book. Well, I'm kind of done with all that. And I was like, yeah, it's been a while since I've watched The Next Generation. And so I just kind of started. It was just kind of, it's that stuff that's on in the background. And, you know, it's like, okay, it's a TV show. They've introduced new characters, and you get these characters that have their that we get to see them develop. So you have, Data, and this is the one thing that kind of popped in my head about Data. I'm probably sure I'm not the first one that to talk about this or bring it up or notice it, but it's one of those where it's like, okay, there's this character Data, and we get to meet him, and he's kind of childlike. He wants to become more human. Okay. He's been part of Starfleet, or maybe they found him. I can't remember when this was established, but basically he's been part of Starfleet for over 20 years. By the time of the Next Generation, season 1, we get to meet Captain Picard. We get to meet Data. Data is Lieutenant Commander. Okay. You can't tell me that Data, like, just as the person interacting with other humans, wanting to be more human, that he's served on other starships. Let's see. Asa, glad to see you're back at it, seeing this later and not live. Well, this is live right now, Asa. And I'm assuming that you're just going to go back and watch it from the beginning, which is good. So, let's see what was I going to say. But you can't tell me the Data is like, he's been in Starfleet. He's been serving in Starfleet for 20 some odd years, and he hasn't like developed more of a personality, because we see him grow as a character significantly over 7 years of the TV show, the movies, that kind of stuff. But you can't tell me that he didn't have, like, I would have loved to have seen him, like, let's see a Data, like, who's joined Starfleet, who's allowed to join Starfleet, like, brand new. Like, how childlike or like intuitive, like, it does to me, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of growth there, but hey, it's a TV show. It's a TV show. So I don't know, it's just one of those thoughts that I had, that I was like, really? I think that this person, android or not, that this person wouldn't be a little bit more socially and, like, I don't know, developed than he was, when we meet him. I don't know. just one of those things that, weird Star Trek people think about, just kind of pops up. Let's see. Another thing with the school. So, had did the Toys for Tots again. Was able to donate 2 full boxes to Toys for Tots this Christmas, which I'm very happy for. I have to give credit to one of the families. They had a family member die, and he had all of these toy cars that still sealed in the package that they didn't want to deal with getting rid of or selling or anything like that. They just wanted to donate. So they gave it Toys for Tots, filled up all, had already stuff in there, but the rest filled up the rest of box 1 and all of box 2. So, so very excited about that. Did not have the Grinch this year. Still kind of perturbed about that, but it is what it is. So next year, we'll do some type of event. One thing that I did do, which a couple people took advantage of, is doing the self-defense classes. And instead of paying for the class, they brought a donation for the Toys for Tot box. So, and so that was mildly successful. I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll definitely be doing that again next year. And then, let's see, I'm just being, oh, that's just the chat that I was talking about earlier. Anyway, so come Christmas time, there'll probably be another donation thing. Like, I don't know. We will see where that goes. So, but and maybe we might have a different Grinch. Could be. Who knows? But yeah, so that's all kind of that. Yeah. Shoot, it's been an hour. I've been chatting for an hour. So thank you for tuning in. I can't really think of anything else. Please stay tuned if you're going to go to Bram's camp. Tune into bramfrankmodulartraining.com. That's going to not that website, but please do. bramsbirthdaybash.com. So go there. First week of January, it'll come up. Now, next Sunday is, what is next Sunday? Next Sunday, I think, is the 24th. It is Christmas Eve. So I may or may not come online. You know what? I probably will. So you know what? I will. I just don't know what time. Maybe a little bit sooner in the day. But because it is Christmas Eve. Or maybe I could do it the 23rd because that is Festivus. So it is what it is. So anyway, so we'll, Jason will be signing up for that. Very cool. So yeah, so we'll, first week of January, that'll be happening. Go to that website. I will figure out Jim Korn's thing sooner than later because I would love to have him out. I think that would be super, super fun. And then let's see. We'll just kind of go from there. So until next time, most likely next Sunday, I want you to be safe and live long and prosper. We will see you later, all.